And welcome to the chat on Newsday Amarillo and News Channel 10-2. I'm David Lovejoy.
And I'm Chuckalicious, Chuck Williams.
And this morning we're joined by Miss Alyssa Jenkins. She's a bereavement counselor with BSA Hospice of the Southwest. It's a fact of life. We all have to face this sometime or day for a loved one, a parent, a relative. And the path can be hard. And sometimes you need a helping hand to kind of make sense of it all. And that's really what BSA Hospice of the Southwest is there to do, is help you make sense of a very, very hectic situation. This month, they're getting ready to show one of the greatest things they do is support those people who are going through a period of grief. The Garden Walk will kick off on August 20th. Mrs. Jenkins, welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
Good. How are y'all?
We're
Pretty
doing
good.
great. We're doing
Miss Jenkins, tell me about this garden walk. What's the significance of it?
So the Garden Walk happens annually, something we've done for about 4 or 5 years now. It's out at Amarillo Botanical Gardens. It is a come and go event where people can spend some time in nature. We've got some live music, peaceful music. It's not anything that's led, but we want to allow people to experience the gardens in their fullness, which is a good time at the end of August, and come out and be with others in a supportive environment, which, like you said, is important while you're grieving.
Ms. Jenkins, we talked about grieving and loss, and let's be honest, in our society here, we tend to not educate well on this subject.
Right.
We kind of leave it in case of a mystery and shrouded, and then you start hearing the cliches. Well, it's time to get over it, or we don't really have a in tune or tuned into what grief is. You work in this field, you see people handle grief in different ways, don't they? There's some people who shut down. There's some people who, just morph and change into a whole different
Right.
person. There's a million different ways people handle their grief, right?
Yeah, yeah. And I think we need to support that. We tend to kind of follow along with what we think people should be doing or how society's guiding us to do, or we look around at other people. But you're right. Grief is based on kind of our personality, maybe our culture, how we've been brought up. There's just a lot of different things that kind of play into even maybe how the person died or any kind of circumstances. It is a plethora of things that play into how people grieve.
And that lends me to this question. Who can attend the garden walk? I know we think of certain ages. Is it a youth thing? Is it a middle-aged thing? This is for the whole family, isn't it?
Yeah. So it's adults, adults that are grieving a loss. The events, the kid age range, there's not much for them and just kind of the nature of the topic. So adults only, but anybody in the community. And there is no time frame on the loss, which I want to kind of stress a little bit.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if it's been 10 years, 2 years, 2 months. So anybody can come out, not even just hospice families, just definitely a family event for adults.
What is the connection between nature and grief?
Yeah, so one of the things about nature is it doesn't require anything of us. It allows us to be still, and sometimes our emotions can kind of come up, and we can avoid those in our normal day-to-day life. When we get out in nature, it's kind of accepting where we are, and it lets us be who we are. So there's something beautiful about flowers and birds and trees, and it also kind of activates those things in our brain that kind of make us feel good, those receptors in there that bring us to good memories and good times. And then when you couple that with an event with other people that are supportive, it creates a whole environment for people just kind of figure it out and see if nature's for them.
This is sort of a come and go event. Is there any need to register or anything like that for it?
No registration required. You can come and go from 6 to 8 p.m. If you want to come at 7 o'clock, if you want to come, with a few people, bring a friend. We also have some resources out there too. So it's kind of open event.
We're taught a lot of things in this society, and unfortunately, one thing that we don't get a lot of lessons on is the emotion of grief and how to handle it, and especially after losing a loved one or someone dear in your life. And BSA Hospice of the Southwest has made it their mission and their job to help that transition, to help you find a cause, to help you find a way. It is one of the, I think, unsung heroes of our community, because we just don't, as a society as whole, don't deal with the idea of death and grief
Mm-hmm.
in the right way. We try to pigeonhole people. We try to make a round peg fit in a square hole when it comes to their emotions. Everybody grieves differently. And BSA Hospice of the Southwest allows people to have that space in that room. And they also teach you how to grieve, what you can do to make it better. Give them a call. They're at 806-355-0026. They're located at 5211 Southwest Ninth Avenue, BSA of the Southwest. Their big walk coming up, the Garden Walk, a way to meld nature and healing together. We'll be at the Amarillo Botanical Gardens. It kicks off on August 20th from 6 until 8 p.m. This is not a registered event. There's
No.
not going to be part of you. You come and go. You meet with people who are going through some of the same tragedies you're going through. There'll be people there for BSA. If you want to talk, it's not going to be forced and mandatory upon you to share your story. But if you want to, there's someone you can have as a sounding board there to let people know where you're at. And I think sometimes when people grieve, we tend to shut them out.
Yeah.
We tell, oh, they don't want to bother with them. We don't want to let them alone, let them alone. Sometimes that's a cry for help. And Ms. Jenkins, thank you for what you do. It's a very important mission. And thank you for what BSA Hospice of the Southwest does. You ladies and gentlemen who work there are angels, truly angels.
Yeah, thank you so much. Part of what brought me here are my own losses. I had a big degree change and came and joined others because I, like you said, kind of grieved how people led me to grieve in society, and
Right.
I found out that things could be a little different.
Mhm.
So for myself, I'm on my own journey too, and it's been very helpful to be able to help others.
Did it feel like it was delayed, that peace of mind, that rest, because you were so busy trying to grieve like people thought you should?
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. I was young. I was
Mhm.
young, and there wasn't a lot of other young grieving people around, and so I didn't really know how to communicate to others, and I kind of had that mentality of pushing through and being strong, like we do a lot of times, and it
Right.
didn't really work for me.
Yeah, yeah. The cracks start showing sooner or later. It may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, but down the line, there's a residual effect when we don't really put things in the places they need to be. And like I said, grief is just one of those things that we don't teach very well in this society, and it should be, because it's a personal experience. And BSA Hospital of the Southwest can help you with that. Don't miss the Garden Walk, August 20th from 6 until 8 p.m. It'll take place at the Amarillo Botanical Gardens. For more information, call 356-0026. If you're grieving, if you're needing someone to comfort, if you have someone who's facing that end of life journey, give BSA Hospice of the Southwest a call. They're located at 5211 Southwest Ninth Avenue. Alyssa, thank you so much for your time and great information this morning.
Thank you so much.
We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back to wrap up this Tuesday edition of The Chat on Newsday Amarillo and News Channel 102.